If you've ever lost someone, you've probably said something comforting that might actually hurt them. Let me share what Padre Pio's spiritual advice teaches about this. There is a particular kind of silence that falls over a room when we lose someone we love. It is a heavy, thick silence filled with memories and the sudden, jarring reality of absence. In our modern world, we are uncomfortable with this silence. We rush to fill it. We rush to cover the pain with words, with flowers, with tributes that try to make sense of the mystery of death. If you have ever stood in a funeral home or scrolled through the social media timeline of a grieving family, you have seen the phrases we use. They are well-intentioned. They are born of a desire to comfort. We say things like, "He is an angel now," or "She is looking down on us," or perhaps the most common of all, "At least he is at peace. His journey is over." And these are the words St. Padre Pio would warn you not to say with certainty. He's definitely in heaven. She's an angel now. His journey is finished. Quick question. Have you ever heard someone say, "They're an angel now," or "They're definitely in heaven"? Which phrase do you hear the most? Not because we don't hope, but because those words can quietly stop our prayers. And the holy souls may still need them. We speak as if the book is closed, as if the destination is not only reached, but guaranteed. We speak as if we, with our limited human vision, can see across the veil of eternity and declare, with absolute certainty, the state of a soul before the throne of God. But there is a danger here. It is not a danger of malice. No one says these things to be cruel. It is a danger of neglect. When we speak with absolute certainty about the salvation of those who have passed, when we declare them instantly finished and in glory, we may unintentionally do them a spiritual disservice. We stop working for them. We stop praying for them. We replace the powerful, necessary spiritual work of intercession with the comfortable anesthesia of assumption. We must ask ourselves a difficult question, one that requires us to set aside our emotional desire for instant relief and look at the spiritual reality. Because here's what most people don't realize. The most comforting words we say can actually be the reason we stop helping them. What if our words of comfort are quietly weakening the help our loved ones still need? What if they still need you? This is where the wisdom of the saints, and specifically the piercing spiritual insight of St. Padre Pio, invites us to a different perspective. And Padre Pio was incredibly direct about this. He didn't comfort people with assumptions. He trained them to love the dead the right way. In just a moment, I'll show you what he told grieving families to do immediately. We are not here to judge the dead, nor are we here to live in fear, but we are here to love them truly. And in the eyes of the Church, and in the lived experience of Padre Pio, loving the dead does not mean flattering them. It means helping them. The words we choose to speak about the dead are not just sounds in the air. They shape how we act, how we pray, and how we relate to the world to come. If we convince ourselves that the battle is over the moment the eyes close in death, we lay down our spiritual weapons. We abandon the soul to its own journey, depriving it of the one thing it craves most from us: the suffrage of our prayers, the offering of the Mass, and the sacrifice of our love. Consider the atmosphere of a modern wake. It is often a celebration of life, which is good and right. We share stories, we laugh through tears, we remember the good times. But notice how rarely we hear the ancient cry of the Church, "Eternal rest, grant unto him, O Lord." Instead, we hear, "He's playing golf in the sky," or "She's dancing with the stars." These images are comforting to us. They soothe our immediate ache. But do they help the soul? They don't need our imagination as much as they need our intercession. They need us to ask for God's mercy. When we replace prayer with instant certainty, when we speak as if someone is already in glory simply because they have died, we are effectively walking away from the hospital bed while the patient is still in recovery. We are turning off the lights and closing the door, saying, "They are fine. when in reality they may be crying out, "Do not leave me, pray for me." This distinction between human comfort and spiritual truth is the foundation of our reflection today. It is not about being cold or unfeeling. It is about being faithful. It is about loving our departed enough to tell the truth, that death is a passage. And for many, perhaps most, that passage involves a state of purification. To deny this, to speak as if it does not exist, is to deny our loved ones the greatest gift we can give them. We must learn to speak a new language, or rather, recover an ancient one. A language that is less about reassuring ourselves and more about assisting them. A language that does not say, "It is finished," but rather, "Lord, have mercy." In the rugged, windswept hills of San Giovanni Rotondo, where Padre Pio spent the majority of his life, death was not hidden away as it is in our culture today. It was a daily companion. The friary was a place where the veil between this world and the next seemed exceptionally thin. Padre Pio did not view death as a final wall, but as a door through which souls passed, and often through which they looked back, seeking aid. His attitude toward the dead was one of profound seriousness and immense active charity. He did not offer cheap platitudes. When someone lost a spouse or a child and came to him weeping, seeking assurance that their loved one was in heaven, Padre Pio rarely gave the quick, easy answer. He did not say, "Don't worry, they are angels." He would often bow his head, his face etched with a deep interior concentration, and say simply, "Let us pray. They need prayers." There are accounts, inspired by the testimonies of those who lived near him, that reveal his approach. A woman once approached him, distraught over the death of her son, asking if he was saved. Padre Pio did not brush her off, nor did he offer a false guarantee. He told her that her son was saved, yes, but that he needed much prayer. He directed her grief into action. He did not let her rest in the complacency of "he is safe." He moved her into the labor of love, that is intercession. For Padre Pio, the relationship with the dead was not a memory to be cherished, but a living bond to be sustained through grace. He understood that the souls in purgatory, that state of purification where the rust of sin is burned away by the fire of divine love, cannot pray for themselves. They are helpless in that regard. They rely entirely on the charity of the church militant, which is us, the living. Padre Pio often spoke of the great abandonment of the dead. He lamented that so many souls were left in the silence of purgatory because their relatives, convinced of their immediate salvation, had ceased to offer masses for them. Imagine the tragedy of a soul who loved you in life, waiting for the relief of your prayers, while you spend your days telling everyone, "He is watching over me." The soul does not need to watch over you. The soul needs you to watch over it. Padre Pio's life was a testament to this reality. He offered his own sufferings, his physical pain, and his constant prayer for the holy souls. He did not treat them as distant concepts, but as brothers and sisters in urgent need. We must be careful here not to misunderstand. Padre Pio was not a man of gloom, he was a man of hope, but his hope was theological, not sentimental. Theological hope trusts in the merits of Christ and the mercy of God, but it does not presume to know the specific judgment of a soul. Presumption is the enemy of prayer. If I presume you are safe, I do not throw you a lifeline. Padre Pio saw the reality of sin and the holiness of God. He knew that nothing unclean can enter heaven. This is not because God is cruel, but because God is pure light. To enter that light, the soul must be capable of bearing it. Purgatory is the hospital where the eyes of the soul are healed, so they can gaze upon God without being blinded. To say, "Be careful with these words," is to say, don't speak in a way that closes the hospital before the healing is complete. There is a story told of a fellow friar who had passed away. This friar had lived a holy life, a good life. The community was gathering to pray, and the general sentiment was that surely this brother was already with God. Padre Pio, however, was seen praying fervently with tears. When asked why he prayed so hard for someone so good, he reportedly said that even the holiest among us, when standing before the infinite purity of God, realizes how much dust still clings to their feet. He taught that we should never underestimate the holiness required for heaven. This is not to scare us, but to motivate us. It is a call to take the spiritual life seriously. If a friar needs prayer, how much more do our secular relatives, who perhaps lived good lives but were not focused on the things of God? The lesson from San Giovanni Rotondo is clear. Love does not assume. Love acts. Love does not say, "It is over." Love says, "I will not forget you." When we change our language about the dead, we align ourselves with this spiritual reality. We move from a passive, sentimental grief to an active, powerful participation in the communion of saints. We become partners with Christ in the redemption of our loved ones. This is the dignity to which we are called. Now, I want you to pause and look inward. There is a tension that arises when we hear this. It is a conflict between our heart's desire for relief and our soul's recognition of truth. You might be thinking, if I don't say my mother is in heaven, am I being disloyal? If I tell people she needs prayers, will they think she was a bad person? This is a very human fear. We want to protect the reputation of those we love. We want to present a finalized, polished image to the world. To admit they might be in purgatory feels, to our modern sensibilities, like an admission of failure. But this is a misunderstanding of what purgatory is. It is a mercy, and our prayers are part of that mercy. Purgatory is not hell. It is not a punishment in the way we understand earthly punishment. It is the entryway to heaven. To be in purgatory is to be saved. It is to be safe. It is to be destined for glory. There is no failure in purgatory. There is only the final stage of victory. When you admit your loved one might need purification, you are not insulting them. You are acknowledging they are on the path to God, and you are rushing to help them along that path. The internal conflict comes from a culture that has lost the sense of sin and the sense of God's holiness. We have trivialized heaven, making it the automatic default for anyone who wasn't a notorious criminal. But deep down, in the quiet of your conscience, do you not feel the weight of this truth? When you say the words, "They are at peace," is there a small part of you that wonders, are they, or do they need me? Listen to that whisper. It is not doubt. It is the Holy Spirit inviting you to a deeper love. It is the bond of charity stretching across the divide of death. The fear of appearing harsh or judgmental is a temptation to silence your prayer. Do not yield to it. True love is willing to bear the discomfort of uncertainty in order to offer the certainty of prayer. Think of it this way. If your loved one were on a long journey home and they were tired and hungry just a few miles from the door, would you sit at home saying, "They are already here"? Or would you run out to meet them to help them carry their bags for the final steps? Prayer for the dead is running out to meet them. It is the act of carrying their bags. The internal struggle you feel is simply the friction of shifting from a passive observer of death to an active participant in eternal life. If you are finding value in this reflection, if you feel a stirring in your heart to deepen your spiritual life and understand the unseen realities around us, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. We explore these truths not to frighten, but to empower. Join us as we walk this path together. Let us now reframe this logically. When we say, "Never say these words," we are not issuing a ban on comfort. We are issuing a warning against presumption. The Church distinguishes between the virtue of hope and the sin of presumption. Hope is trusting in God's mercy, relying on His promises, and praying with confidence that He desires the salvation of all. Presumption is claiming that salvation is owed to us, or that it happens automatically regardless of the state of the soul at death. When we say, "He is definitely in heaven," without the Church ever having declared it, Without realizing it, we are drifting into presumption. Why does the Church avoid this language of automatic closure? Because the Church understands the justice of God as well as His mercy. God is infinitely merciful, yes, but His mercy is received by a heart that must be capable of holding it. If a person dies with attachments to the world, small selfishnesses, unforgiveness, habits of venial sin, these things act as barriers to the full embrace of God. They must be burned away. This is the doctrine of purgatory. It is a doctrine of love. It ensures that we are made perfect before we enter the wedding feast. Therefore, the dangerous words are the ones we speak with certainty, as if prayer is no longer needed. These phrases can become misleading when stated as absolute facts. They imply that the human life, with all its messiness and imperfection, is instantly compatible with the beatific vision. Reframing this means understanding that our prayers are the currency of love in the afterlife. By refusing to use finalizing language, we keep the channel of grace open. We keep the relationship alive. Consider the logic of the funeral mass itself. Every prayer in the Catholic liturgy for the dead is a petition. Receive his soul, forgive his sins, grant him rest. The Church never says, we rejoice that he is now in glory. The Church pleads. If the Church, with her 2,000 years of wisdom, pleads for the soul, who are we to declare the case closed? By reframing our language, we align ourselves with the mind of the Church. We move from being spectators to being intercessors. We replace the fragile comfort of a slogan with the robust, enduring comfort of a sacrament. Now let me make this extremely practical. If you only remember one thing from this video, remember this. What you say after someone dies should always lead to prayer, not closure. So how do we live this out in our daily lives? We need a micro-ritual, a small way to change our habits. It begins with catching yourself. When you hear the news of a death, or when you remember a loved one and the automatic phrase rises to your lips, they are in a better place. Stop. Gently catch that thought and replace it with a short, powerful aspiration. Replace, they are fine with Jesus' mercy, or eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord. Here is a practical suggestion inspired by the tradition of the faithful. Use the physical sign of a candle. In your home, have a specific candle that is for the dead. When you feel that wave of grief, or when a memory of a departed loved one comes to you, do not just push it away or gloss over it with happy thoughts. Go to that candle, light it. As the flame rises, say their name and say, Lord, let your light shine upon them. This physical action grounds your prayer. It takes the energy of your grief and transforms it into a spiritual offering. The candle represents your prayer continuing even after you have walked away. Change your vocabulary in conversation. When someone says, I'm sure your father is happy now, you can respond with a gentle, faithful truth. You can say, I hope so. I pray for him every day, just to be sure. He needs my love now more than ever. You will find that this often opens a door. People are hungry for this depth. They are tired of the empty cliches. When you speak of praying for the dead, you witness to the reality of the soul. You remind the world that death is not the end of the relationship. Make this a part of your night prayers. Before you sleep, offer one Hail Mary for the soul in your family who is furthest from heaven, or the one who has been forgotten by everyone else. This is the Padre Pio way, to seek out the poorest of the poor, the souls who have no one to pray for them. By integrating these small rituals, you protect yourself from the trap of presumption. You keep your heart alert. You keep your love active. You become a beacon of hope for those who have gone before you. Now, I invite you to enter into a moment of silence with me. We are going to practice this presence. We are going to move from talking about the dead to being with them in the presence of God. Close your eyes for a moment, if it is safe to do so. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the noise of the world fade. Bring to your mind the face of someone you have lost. a parent, a spouse, a friend. See them not as a memory frozen in the past, but as a living soul, existing right now. Do not try to force a feeling. Do not try to hear them. Simply hold them in your heart. Now, imagine you are holding them in your hands and you are lifting them up. You are lifting them toward a great, warm, healing light. You are not declaring them finished. You are offering them to mercy. In this silence, say to God without words, I love them. I give them to you. Purify them, heal them, bring them home. Feel the peace in this action. This is not the peace of ignoring the truth. It is the peace of trusting in God's power. It is the peace of knowing you are doing something real. You are not abandoning them. You are loving them across the veil. Stay in this quiet offering. This silence is where the soul meets God. This is where true comfort is found, not in empty words, but in the silent, powerful exchange of grace. As we come back from that silence, we must examine our conscience. This is a Catholic examination, a way to align our lives with the truth we have just contemplated. Ask yourself honestly, how do I speak of the dead when no one is listening? Do my words reflect a faith in the power of prayer or a desire to be done with the pain of grief? Have I neglected the souls of my ancestors because I assumed they were already saints? Have I stopped having masses said for my parents or grandparents because it has been 5, 10, or 20 years? Padre Pio taught that time in purgatory is not like time on earth. A soul may need our prayers for generations. There is no expiration date on our charity. Make a commitment today, a simple one. Resolve that you will never again speak of the dead with absolute finality, but always with hopeful intercession. Resolve that when you mention the name of the dead, you will mentally or verbally add, "May God rest his soul." This small addition changes everything. It changes the atmosphere from one of secular memorial to one of sacred prayer. And finally, remember the greatest prayer of all, the Holy Mass. The Eucharist is the source and summit of our faith. It is the one place where the living and the dead are truly united. When the priest raises the host, the walls of time dissolve. You are there with the angels, and you are there with the souls of the faithful departed. If you truly want to help your loved ones, have a Mass said for them. Attend Mass and offer your communion for them. This is the power that breaks the chains. This is the love that conquers death. If this message has touched your heart, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. We are building a community of prayer and understanding. If you don't want to share a name, just comment, "Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord." Let's fill this space with prayer. And as a final act of charity today, I ask you to leave a comment below. Simply write the name of a loved one you want to pray for, or simply write, "Jesus, have mercy on the holy souls." And let the comment section become a litany of prayer, a vast chorus of intercession rising up to heaven. Never say they are done. Say they are loved. Say they are remembered. Say, "Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them." Tonight, say one simple prayer for someone you've lost. Love doesn't assume, love intercedes. This is the way of the saints. This is the way of truth. This is the way of love. God bless you. Hope and pray.